The recording has started.
Yeah.
Did you do that, Pierre?
I just did that in the not the browser interface, but on the client.
Very good. Hey, welcome everybody. It's for everyone listening to the recording. This is a very strange way to start a call. Welcome everybody to the Black Diamond Call for Monday, January 16th. John Lavenia calling in live on the road today, and I think you already know who our guest speaker is. Yes, we've got a guest speaker this week. You're not just going to listen to me rant for an hour about whatever comes into mind. But I do especially want to welcome our brand new members, people who have just gotten started this week. If this is your first Black Diamond Call, you're in for a treat. This is where we discuss the most highbrow and sophisticated ideas and philosophies of success from various people who have made it to the top of their business, hence the title Black Diamond. This is expert level stuff. Now, what you're going to find here on this call is that sometimes it gets pretty raw. This isn't about, being politically correct or anything. It's just about helping you accelerate the evolutionary process into a top earner yourself. Okay, so we like to shoot straight. It's sometimes very street, very in your face, but we want you to have the experience you signed up here in Digital Altitude to have, and nothing less. So the rules for this call are: take what you like and leave the rest. And of course, if we say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just the way we roll. I do see our web controls screen coming back up here, Pierre. So for any of you who are listening to this recorded, you don't know what's happening, we're experiencing technical problems tonight. So that's why we kind of started mid-sentence. And we do have, let me introduce our main host for the evening, which is a good guy who we get to hear of each week on Wednesdays, on Wednesday mornings. And that is, of course, Pierre Beaudoin from from French Canada. Hey, how you doing there, Pierre?
I am doing great, thank you. Maybe I should talk with more of the French Canadian accent.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's too bad too. The camera's not on because I'm wearing my Montreal Canadiens hockey jersey right now. It's the Club Canadien, the Habs jersey. I don't know if there's any hockey fans out there, but I'm actually wearing my my Canadian Hockey Club jersey. So,
wow.
Yes, the Montreal Canadiens.
So you're feeling Canadian tonight.
I am. And even though in Southern California it's been a beautiful day in the 70s, there's snow up in the mountains, and I'm anxious to go snowboarding. I'll tell you.
Nice. Sounds good. So while we're still getting this console fixed, if everybody could just make sure that your mic is muted, so this way we can hear every pearl of wisdom that drops from Pierre Beaudoin's mouth, because he has got quite a few of them.
Well,
and I may have to mute my line for a second here, Pierre, to just handle some of this, but I'm excited about your topic tonight, which I believe is how you select your ideal customer, like how you actually target an audience so that your marketing is effective, right? And by the way, can I tell a quick a preamble to all this?
Absolutely.
What do you think? Okay, so here's what I learned. Yeah, here's my preamble. So there was a time when I thought that you had to be like a master copywriter, like you had to be a monster when it comes to being a wordsmith or whatever. And of course, people can look at me and say, well, yeah, John, I mean, you've got a big advantage because you're an author, which, by the way, I was not born as an author, right? I've read lots of books, and then I've, hence written some. But I used to think that the most important thing of any marketing campaign was the copy, right? You got to be an ace copywriter. And then guess what I found out? That more important than the copy is the list that's receiving it. Yes, you could have a spectacular piece of, advertising that falls on deaf ears. So more important is choosing the ideal customer, and that's what Pierre's here to talk with us about today. So Pierre, I am going to mute my line for a second because I need to move from where I'm at right now. I'm in an outdoor cafe, and they now have a guitarist and singer just 20 feet away from me. So I got to go find a quiet spot. I'm going to mute my line. I will be back, sir.
Nice. Well, absolutely. It sounds like you must be in a fun spot. Well, guys, welcome to the Black Diamond Marketing Call. The Black Diamond Call tonight. This is my first time being able to share with you in in the Black Diamond call, and I'll tell you, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to share with you and provide some insights to things that took me a really long time to learn, and yet made the biggest difference in my success that I want to share with you. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of counterintuitive to most new entrepreneurs, new members, new marketers, because at the end of the day, I mean, our whole role here, the whole purpose of our business is really to what? What exactly are we here to do? Right? It's not really to sell, right? Because if you approach your business from a selfish perspective where you're just pushing your own agenda onto other people to getting them to buy something, you know, you're going to build up a tremendous amount of anxiety in your business, and, you know, odds are you're probably not going to see that much success, right? When people feel like they're being sold something or feel like you're pressuring them to buy something, and it's not, you know, that people don't like to buy. People love to buy. But I'll tell you something. It's this topic is such an important one to really understand. Now, if you're brand new and you're still going through the Aspire steps, some of this may seem to be a little bit more advanced, but I'm going to try to keep the topic as clear and as concise as possible, as simple as possible. So your customers, right, when we talk about identifying who your ideal customer is, right, who's buying your product, it's really, most people want to just get their links out to the world, right? But at the end of the day, we're solving. Wow. Sounds like you got it working, John. So guys, the purpose of your business really is to help other people solve their problems, right? Now, with your business with Digital Altitude is a pretty unique one in many regards, right? Because Digital Altitude is all about helping business owners, entrepreneurs, and individuals leverage the internet and really scale things up. Scale up that mountain, as Michael Force explains it. It's a brilliant analogy. I absolutely love it, right? Because it's not the mountain that you conquer. It's ourselves, right? It's ourselves individually. And as a business owner and an entrepreneur who's looking to grow and scale your business, you really need to understand why you're doing this and who your customers are, right? And what are the problems that most people have that would respond to an ad that we're going to place for you, right? That your traffic coach will help you set up. Why would they respond to an ad that is there to really help them, set up an online business? Well, typically, if you stop and think about that, people are wanting to make more money, right? That's a granted, right? People want to make more money. People want more time freedom, right? and so if you're able to chat here in the box, I'd love to hear some responses. What else why would people respond to an ad? Maybe they want more fulfillment in their lives, right? They're looking for more fulfillment. They want more. They're tired of their job, right? So you're going to have a lot of people with a lot of different types of problems. Now, who do you think wouldn't want to make more money, have more time freedom, have more fulfillment in their lives? Well, who wouldn't, right? That's the good news, is that we've got a business that most people will want to respond to. Most people will want to make more money and have more time freedom, have more fulfillment in their lives. So of course, naturally, they're going to respond. And again, this is counterintuitive to a lot of people. And when I learned this little secret, my conversions doubled and tripled. And I'm telling you, I hope everyone's able to take notes right now if you're listening in. And John, I don't know if you can hear me. I got a message that The lines were muted. I don't see any text messages right now, so I don't know if there's anyone that could be texting or putting messages.
Yeah, I can hear you, Pierre.
Okay. I'm
You
good.
good?
Thank you, Edward. So good. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Good. Thank you, Terry. So guys, this is again very counterintuitive, right? So if you're fishing, right? Do you think that there's a lot of fish in the Pacific Ocean? Well, of course there are, right? It's a big ocean. There's a lot of fish out there. So it would be natural for a lot of people to want to go fish in the Pacific Ocean. It's a huge ocean full of fish. But what would be easier? Would it be easier to go cast a huge net in the Pacific Ocean trying to catch fish, or would it be easier to shoot fish in a barrel, right? Where you've got a barrel full of fish. Which would be easier? Well, naturally, shooting fish in a barrel is a lot easier than, being out on a boat at sea trying to cast a net to hopefully catch a lot of fish. Will you catch a lot of fish out there at sea? Well, of course you will. But it's a lot easier when they're all in a barrel. Another way of looking at this is that if you're wanting to, if you're on a hunt, right? And I'm not a hunter, so don't take this the wrong way. But if you're on a hunt right now and you're out in the African safari, right? You're out on the African safari and you're out wanting to hunt for gazelles. Well, where are gazelles, right? They're at the watering hole, right? Wouldn't it make sense for you to, rather than being out on the Serengeti, wouldn't it make more sense for you to position yourself near a watering hole where you know that all the gazelles are going to come at some point or another, right? In droves. Of course you're going to set things up there. So it's important to understand who your ideal customer is. This is really where it all begins. Before you really do any sort of real marketing campaigns on your own, you really want to understand who your ideal customer is. You're building a team, after all, and it probably makes sense for you to attract and surround yourself with people that you want on your team. So who would that be, right? Who is your ideal customer? And this is what gets really, really fascinating, because I had a coach and mentor that taught me this a long time ago, where you really want to identify that ideal customer. Why? Well, it's going to make things so much easier in the long run, right? So again, you're wanting to help other people solve their problems. But if everybody's got a similar problem of wanting to make more money, wanting to, wanting to have more time freedom, wanting more fulfillment in their lives, well, who are you appealing to? It could be a stay-at-home mom, right? A stay-at-home mom wants more money. She wants to be able to have more time freedom. She wants to be at home. So wouldn't it make sense for her to respond to an ad telling her about an opportunity to have her own business and work from home? Of course it would, right? Now, she's going to be very different than, say, a burnt-out corporate executive who's just flat-out fed up with the corporate world, who wants out, right? Who wants out of being on the job hunt, looking for another job. They realize they want their own business, right? And so that corporate executive has got a completely different perspective on things, but both have a very similar type of problem that we can solve here with a digital altitude business, can't we? Of course we can. So, guys, you have to really understand who your ideal customer is. And this can get very, very specific. And the more specific you are, the better. So why would that be? Well, let's say that your ideal customer is, maybe you're in you're approaching retirement, right? Maybe you're approaching retirement. You're in your 50s. You want to have other people that are of similar age that are also retirees. They have a very specific problem, don't they? They don't want to be out there looking for a job, heaven forbid, working at, I don't know, Walmart during their retirement years. Not that there's anything wrong with that, mind you, but most people that are approaching retirement want to be able to enjoy that retirement and travel. why wouldn't they be interested in having a business of their own where they can work from home when they want, from wherever they want, right? Spend time with their loved ones, with their grandkids, right? So this is really important to understand, guys, because when you're able to really dial things in and know precisely who your ideal customer is, it's going to impact everything that you do as a marketer, right? From the content you publish, whether it's a blog post or a video or a podcast or some sort of a lead magnet that you're going to create and offer to prospective leads, right? Where you should place your ads, what platforms, your email marketing, your follow-up sequence. I mean, you name it. Everything is going to pivot around who your ideal customer is. So who's that for you? Who's your ideal customer? Who do you want on your team? Is it, stay-at-home mom? Is it maybe a network marketing guru who maybe it's other affiliate marketers? Maybe it's retirees that just want a better life. Maybe it's, corporate execs. Maybe it's franchisees. They all have a unique need. Their eyeballs are at different places. They're going to respond to ads in a very different way, aren't they? I mean, imagine for a moment, let's say that you're wanting to attract a stay-at-home mom. Well, where is that stay-at-home mom online? Where are her eyeballs? Where are her ears? Do you think that, if she's on a blog talking about parenting and sees an ad that shows a mom working from her laptop at home in her kitchen table with kids next to her coloring in a coloring book with some sort of a caption saying, work from home or have your own business from home, and she's smiling, the kids are smiling in the picture. Do you think that maybe she'll click on that ad? Well, of course she will, wouldn't she? Of course she will. But if the corporate executive sees that ad, do you think he or she would click on it? Well, maybe she would if she's wanting to be at home with her kids, right? Maybe she would. But you see the whole idea here, the whole notion of really catering and serving a specific audience. And so, guys, this is really profound because when I learned this, like I said, my conversions went through the roof. And it was again, counterintuitive. It was very subtle. And the minute I really, the light bulb came on, man, it was game on, right? And so you really want to dial things in. So this coach and mentor that I had that I was paying a lot of money, by the way, to learn this stuff that I'm sharing with you for free here tonight, he said, I dial in the perfect customer, the ideal customer that you would want. Who is that person? Who is that person? Is it a male, female? How old are they? I mean, get it right down so that it's one person. Describe the perfect customer. Who are they? What do they do for a living? What's their problem? What are they after? See, and it's fascinating because having been a coach here with Digital Altitude and working with so many different people as I've shared this and taught them, as we complete our business plan, it's very interesting. People will respond to your ads differently than they'll respond to mine, right? And so I had a student who was a retired military guy. He was approaching retirement in the military, and he and his wife and their family were traveling around all over the place, right? And they discovered that there was a huge need within the military community of military housewives all looking for a way to earn some extra income, and they found it really difficult to connect, right? Because they're in a new community, new place, travel, its own demands. It was always tough for them to really connect and have that sense of community. So she started a blog, right, serving the military housewives and families that are out there. And boy, sure enough, she started, placing little ads and just posting and providing advice. And you wouldn't believe how many conversions she had, how many people she was able to really, bring on board on her team. It's phenomenal. But that's a very specific type of customer avatar, isn't it? So you can call it customer avatar, ideal customer, your perfect buyer, your buyer persona. You're going to hear different names on who that should be and how to describe that. But you really want to get it down to a very specific person if you can. Because that way, everything that you're going to be doing, you're going to just think of that person. And so this coach actually taught me that you should describe that person down to a T and even name them. And so I had this customer, his name was Eric. And he said, well, I want you to sit down with your customer, Eric, kneecap to kneecap, and pretend, visualize yourself having a cup of coffee and a conversation with Eric, your customer. Understand who he is. What does he do for a living? What does he like? What does he dislike? Does he read books? Does he like movies? Does he have kids, a family? Where does he live? What is his problem? What is he looking for? Right? And the more I got into dialing this in, everything I did from that point forward revolved around Eric, this ideal customer. Every blog post, every video, every podcast, everything I did was specifically targeted towards Eric, right? Down to a T. This corporate exec who's just burnt out, who wanted out of his corporate career, and he just wanted help. When you look at it that way, I'm telling you, you're going to attract a lot of other people that fit that description, that fit that mold, and they're going to listen because it's going to feel like you're talking to them personally, not just casting a wide net into the ocean, but you're talking to a very specific audience, an individual, a person. And when you do that, they're going to feel like you're talking to them personally about their pain point, about their problem. So right now, if you've already completed the Aspire program and you've launched your business and you're already beginning your marketing campaigns, just think of how powerful this will be. Because when you're able to talk to someone in a very personal way, where they feel like you're speaking to them specifically about their situation, their problem, do you not think that they're going to click on your ad to want to learn more? Because after all, who doesn't want a solution to their problem? And I'll tell you, it can get very, very specific here. You can dial this into just the most minute, granular detail about your ideal customer. And the more you appeal to that customer, the better. So, John, I don't know if you're still listening. I don't know if you'd care to interject.
I'm here, Pierre. I'm hoping you can hear me. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Oh, hooray! Hooray, hooray. Thank goodness for Pierre Beaudoin. Let's hear it for Pierre. If you're on the live call right now, give Pierre some love in the live chat right there. Give this guy some love.
But what are your thoughts on that, John? I mean, when you're marketing yourself, I mean, do you have a specific customer avatar when you're running your campaigns?
I do, and Pierre, it's been the kind of thing where I think as a lot of new marketers will often say, well, everybody, this is right for everybody. I mean, you brought up a couple examples during your talk there about, well, it's good for the busy executive who wants his life back. It's good for the stay-at-home mom. I mean, who isn't our offer for? But, going wide right like that really dilutes yourself. Now, here's what I do. Okay, in my various businesses that I run, I have an idea in my mind, as you would call like an ideal customer avatar, and to the best of my ability, I speak to that person, and typically it's based on who I am, who I know just from my own experience, people that types of personalities that are more apt to like my stuff, my content. Perhaps they're into the same kind of books, they're into the same sort of interests, and I can speak their language, right? Now, there are other people who I will repel. And I've told people this, before, that actually if you want to save a bunch of time, be willing to be repulsive. Be willing to be repulsive to that portion of the marketplace which is never going to buy your stuff. that you must polarize the public. If you are vanilla, you are ignored. And
very true.
it's a right. And it's a tough lesson for some people because, hey, we got something that's good for everybody here. Well, guess what? Even Apple, for example, they've got fine computers and phones and stuff, and there are people that own no Apple computers and no iPhones. They like Windows.
Yeah.
And, okay, that's fine. They like Android devices, and they like, just different strokes, right? So as much influence as that company or those two companies who I just mentioned, as examples, here's like Microsoft versus Apple or iOS versus Android, if those examples, which are very obvious, if they can't penetrate 100% of the market, who are you to think that you're going to penetrate, like your business is for everybody? Give me a break. Your business isn't for everybody, right? Your business is for people who are just like you. And when I say just like you, I'm talking about myself now. So who is this John Lavenia guy? So that's where I start with, identifying the ideal target audience. And we can do this for free, by the way. We can do this for free with YouTube videos and social media posts and various other modalities that don't cost us anything except a little bit of time. And, see what comes up when you pull the nets out of the water, right? That's all. We're just going to put the nets in the water, and they may seem a little bit wide at first because, after all, our business is for everybody. But we start to just be ourselves and be authentic in the marketplace, and we'll start to see some common interest. Now, of course, Facebook is very useful because they have, you can identify what other things people have liked, right? So, I notice a pattern here with a lot of these people who tend to like my stuff. They also tend to like, this other author or this other philosophy or this certain kind of music or whatever, depending on what we're selling, of course, right? Now, Pierre, some of my interests, snowboarding, we share that interest. I'm heavily into, I'm an old metalhead, right? I've been a metalhead since the day I was born. It's my first love. A lot of people don't know that about me, but my goodness, I love extreme music. So I mean, obviously these are different marketplaces that we're talking about now, snowboarding versus metal, but yeah, I could certainly see. Oh, and then of course philosophy, right? So I'm kind of a strange bird. So if you're thinking you're having, if anybody here listening to this is thinking you're having a hard time narrowing down like people just like me, I'm not saying they got to be just like you, because I've never met a person who's just like me. Okay, so we can narrow this down to the point of obscurity, of course, because I'm into some like really vast, varying stuff. But that being said, right, if you're vanilla, you're ignored. So we start to narrow it down. Now, once we start to have customers, here's the next step. We've got customers. Now we can check the customer list for patterns. Okay, so we start with just social media or general survey data. That's another thing you can do, by the way. Survey your leads, survey your followers. There's a program called Survey Monkey. I think you could sign up for free, or there's a paid account as well. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so hey, what do you like? You know what the most powerful question in marketing is? What do you want? It almost sounds derogatory. It's like my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, Daddy, what do you want? It's kind of like that. That's kind of like what marketing is. Once you've got somebody's attention, what do you want? And sometimes you can get that out of them. Sometimes they don't know what they want. In fact, there was a whole book written about this called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins, where he talked about the hidden determinants of human behavior. Why did you make that decision to buy that thing, Pierre? Oh, well, because of this, this, and this. Oh, really? Well, that actually wasn't the reasons. Okay, but if you start to find patterns, you could start to identify through survey data, why people answer the way they answer and stuff like that. So marketing is very interesting. It's actually a study of human psychology in relation to decision making or decision avoidance, as is in the case a lot of times. But we now have a customer list. Okay, great. What do most of these customers have in common besides the fact that, they bought the thing, right? So new patterns can emerge. And then from there, you just go hard on the commonalities. And before you know it, You can actually shape entire marketing campaigns. Back to what I started with in my preamble, Pierre, was the copywriting. Okay, so now the copy starts to change.
Yeah.
Because I saw that hey, my goodness, 80% of these people are women. Okay, great. So now we're talking to women, and yeah, some guys will slip through the cracks and get in there. But my goodness, if the women are buying it up, sell the women. What are you going to do? Swim upstream? Are you here to fight or are you here to win? Right? So, I mean, I don't mind the fight as long as I win, but the point is you don't have to fight. It doesn't have to be a struggle.
Nope.
You can go with the flow. So it sounds like you've got some more sentences about to come out of your mouth, Pierre, so let me stop talking for a second.
Well, but you're spot on. I'm loving it. And it's so true, right? You want to be a professional marketer, model other professional marketers. You're going to find that they do this brilliantly, and with experience and over time, you start identifying these patterns. You start identifying that you're going to have multiple customer avatars that you're going to be targeting, right, and working with and helping, and because again, at the end of the day, who doesn't want a solution to their problems? They all do, right? And so if you're presenting a solution to a problem, see, and this is what's interesting too, you can get very, very specific. So for example, I had one student that I was working with very, very closely, and she struggled with this concept, right, as I was, helping her with her business plan and her action plan, and she, she came back and she was really struggling trying to narrow in her marketing. And although she was having some success, she, I asked her, what do you like to do? What do you and your husband really want to be able to do? Well, come to find out, they love camping in those really beautiful classic campers. I'm trying to remember the name of this rounded kind of stainless steel camper. John, maybe you know the name of those things. What are those called? Something line.
The round stainless steel line.
No, it was, yeah, but you can picture those classic campers, right? What in the world is the name?
Yeah, it's like a big aluminum bubble or something.
Exactly. It's I'm trying to remember. It's on the tip of my my tongue, and it's driving me nuts now, trying to think of this. But it's really retro looking. It was just beautiful. So apparently, there's clubs that go around all these vintage, with these vintage campers, right? And it's called Airstream, right? The Airstream campers. And it's apparently this huge community of people that are really into camping like that with these Airstreams. Well, I said, well, why don't you just start posting pictures of yourself camping, enjoying life, working from your laptop while you're out camping in your Airstream, and just talking about the benefits of having a business, a digital business that allows you to travel, see the country, and work when you want from wherever you want, and start really focusing in on that, because after all, who doesn't like, that's into Airstreams, who doesn't like being out there camping and have the ability to earn a living while they're out camping? Well, all of them do, right? All of those like-minded individuals do. Well, sure enough, she started doing that, and within a few short weeks, she had this huge community of all these like-minded people who love to go camping in their Airstreams and shared photos. And next thing you know, they're asking her a question, well, what do you do? How on earth can I do that? I'd love to be able to make a living camping and working from my laptop. Of course they would. And sure enough, they all signed up. All these like-minded people, and now she's building this team of all these people, and they get together at different campsites as they're traveling, and she's doing insanely well today. Now, the question I have for you is, what do you really like? What are you after? What will resonate with other people that you can really collaborate on and really attract those like-minded people? Do you want to be able to travel the world? Well, maybe you should focus more on that. Even though you may not be able to travel today, doesn't mean that you're not interested in that. Doesn't mean that you can't post, interesting articles about that and start connecting with people in social media channels. It's unbelievable what you can do, and it's free. It's free. It takes a little bit of time. Now, can you start placing paid ads in the right places where people that have a certain interest or need or problem, where will they be? And again, if you're presenting a solution to a very unique problem, catering to a very specific audience, your conversions will go through the roof. Everybody will be clicking on your ad because they share that same problem. They want a solution to that specific problem or interest that they may have, right? And so it's counterintuitive because in the beginning, who doesn't want to be able to make more money and have more time freedom and have more fulfillment in their lives? Everybody does. I think Entrepreneur Magazine says that 98.9% of the civilized population in the world want those things. They want to make more money. They want more fulfillment. They want more time. Who doesn't, right? But the narrower you focus, the more specific you are with your marketing campaigns, the higher your conversion rates. Such an important lesson to learn. And that's a black diamond marketing tip. Both John and I are avid snowboarders, and if you know anything about skiing or snowboarding, you're after those black diamond runs. Well, let me tell you, the adrenaline is pumping when you dial in your ads to a very specific audience and start getting a lot of conversions from them, from like-minded people. So very, very exciting stuff, guys. Now, John, anything to add about how to do that, how to dial in your ideal customer?
Yeah, well, like I was saying before, the whole idea of surveying, which is a broad topic, Pierre, we could have you back out here for another hour and talk about surveying and different methods of surveying. But in a general sense, when we look at surveying, we're talking about simply assessing the scene in its entirety, and sometimes it's subtle. All the data counts as long as it's valid data. And sometimes it's pretty overt, pretty conspicuous. It's like, hello, sir. Would you like to answer a few questions? Right now we can do that with email, like I mentioned SurveyMonkey before. But even if it's a subtle survey where you're just, like I've seen people post stuff on Facebook, hey, what do you think about this? Right? Or there's actually a survey function on Facebook where you can give like a multiple choice answer and have people vote on it. So stuff like that, but I'll tell you, right now, Pierre, as you're talking, it's reminding me of a precept that I was given by a marketer some time ago. You mentioned earlier in your talk about paying a good amount of money to get some mentoring, to get some of this sort of guidance that you're freely giving here, and I thank you. But one of the things I learned is if you do this, you'll have a very, very high likelihood of success. And that is that you start by asking people what they want, like the question I offered earlier. So what do you want? And once you've got a determination of what people want, then you just simply produce that product and tell them what they need to do to get that product. So, you want that? Well, guess what we've got right here? Here's how you get it. So tell them what you got, tell them how to get it, right? But base all of that on the survey data that you received in advance. I had a very heartbreaking situation some years ago when I was looking to get a product launched that I put a lot of effort into. Up till 3 o'clock in the morning, creating training modules, really working my ass off on a product that I knew was going to deliver a bunch of value in the marketplace. Because it was based on things that I had personally done to have a good amount of success, right? So, why wouldn't people want this, right? And I'd seen other similar products in the marketplace that I assumed, there's my error, that I assumed were doing well. And I was thinking, I could come out with something, first rule of business, assume nothing, right? So I could come out with a product that I think would be on par with that, and I could do very well. Well, guess what? I produced a product based on what I thought people should want to learn, right? Like, people really need this stuff. So let me go ahead and spend a few months creating this product. And Pierre, it bombed. It was a disaster.
Oh.
Tragic, months down the drain. Come to find out that the other products in the marketplace that I was comparing it to, one in particular that comes to mind, and I won't name any names. I don't want to incriminate anybody, but one of the very popular products in the same genre had upwards of a 50% refund rate.
Wow.
Yeah, they were selling a lot of sizzle, but people did not like that steak. And so here I was, cooking up some nice steaks, and people didn't want steak, okay? So at least not the people that I was targeting. Now, of course, after having put months into creating the product, I was out of gas. I was like, oh, man, now I got to figure out, why this isn't selling. Anyway, it just petered out. And so I wound up, moving on. And anyway, that's the tragedy of not going in the correct order. So one of the other things I learned, and I learned this from a guy, Frank Kern, who I think a lot of people may be familiar with. He's a rather famous online marketer. He talked about finding a market that is what he called irrationally passionate about something. So not only do you want to know what people want, okay, and there should be plenty of those people, right? If there's only 2 people in the world that are into that sort of thing, well, that's probably not a good field to go into. Very, very niche market, right? So you want to be able to get in touch with these people, of course. So there should be a good amount of people. You know what they want. You know where to find them and how to get a communication with them. And he said that they should also be irrationally passionate. And that just stuck with me, Pierre. Irrationally passionate. Yeah, like they're going to go beyond just logic and reason and like, yeah, that sounds good. No. They can't live without this niche, this whatever this thing is. All right, now in our case, it's home-based business. Now let me tell you, I was irrationally passionate about becoming an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, excuse me, and getting out of that job, which was killing me. Right, it actually landed me in the hospital, getting my pay cut 3 times a year, living like a slave. Right, so I was way past logic on that. So if somebody had a real solution for me, yes, I was irrationally passionate about it. And it got to the point where, you know what, let me say this. I was unreasonably passionate about it. I think irrational, now we're kind of crossing the line. I mean, if we really look at the words, what the words actually mean in the dictionary, irrational, no, not so much. But unreasonable, absolutely unreasonable. Unreasonably passionate about this. And sure enough, here I am 15 years later, still a successful entrepreneur, 15 years and millions of dollars in profits later. Okay, this was not a fad. This was not something I was doing on a whim. This is not something I explored out of, convenience. There was nothing casual about my entry into this top-tier direct sales space. This was my life. So something like that, yeah, find the pain. So I guess that would be the final thing that I'll say, that I'd love to see if we can actually get these lines open for Q&A. But the final thing I'll say as far as, shaking out the ideal customers is to find the common pain, because that is the fuel for this, outrageous or unreasonable or irrational passion that people could develop for themselves, is that they've got a good amount of dissatisfaction, a good amount of pain, and if you can talk to that pain and even bring a little salt shaker with you, right, then, all right, then we've got what? We've got one of the greatest things in marketing, Pierre. We've got the common enemy. We've got the common enemy. So that pain, that slave driver, that boss, that or the system or the government or whoever is, the secret cabal that's holding you down, and they've got the secrets that you don't want them to know, and they're the reason why you have this pain, right? Now we can rally around the common purpose, and we can have a mutual enemy, and now, well, hey, an enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
It's
so
funny.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. In there's so many people, and this is what's so interesting. If you're listening right now, and if you've started marketing, And if you feel like you're struggling, take this to heart, because this is such an important thing. There is no shortage of people out there that are just like you, that have similar interests, right? That have a pain that you can help solve, right? A solution. You have a solution to their problem. There's millions of people out there, millions and millions and millions. And guess what? This is what's so beautiful about, this business. You don't need very many customers. you don't need very many, right? As you build your team, you want half a dozen solid, people that are passionate about, what it is that they're going to be doing here with you, working together, and you just doing it consistently, helping them solve their problem. And if you focus in on helping people and what they're really interested in, and I love what you said, John, about being passionate. What was it? Irrationally passionate about something, an interest, or?
Oh, yeah, that's the way Kern put it. He said irrationally passionate. In other words, they're going to go beyond just, it sounds good and logical, and maybe I'll exchange some money for that. They're actually, over disciples, man. They're like devotees of whatever you're doing.
Isn't it amazing? And it's so true. I mean, it's just like I am right now, with snowboarding this season. I just, got another powder board because we've had so much snow here in the Sierras. Just had to place another order, and it's going to be delivered this week. I can't wait to go out and use it. And I'm irrational about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my existing snowboard, but I just needed another one, right? With the swallow.
Really? How many snowboards can you ride at one time? Come on, Pierre. You only need one. I mean, you only got 2 feet, right? So I hear you, man. That's all valid. Same with me, with things that I'm passionate about. I got a lot of stereo equipment, right? I am really into sound. I got a lot of, some people know I'm into self-defense and tactical training. I got a lot of guns. What else? I'm really into philosophy. Well, I've got a lot of books,
There you go.
So, yeah.
These are all good things. And when you...
Although you're in California, so I don't know if it's legal for me to say the word gun. Am I now a criminal in California because I said the word? I don't know.
You're fine, because I'm armed to the teeth too. Nobody's going to come here.
Okay. Well, yeah. God bless America, right? So, yeah, good stuff. But these are the things. Like, how many books can you read at a time? Well, one. Well, you could probably read parts of different books at a time. But yeah, I got a lot of books, right? How many snowboards can you ride at a time? One. But you got different snowboards give you a different tactical advantage. Okay, great.
Absolutely. It's an experience. But see, this is what's so fascinating, right? Since we both love snowboards, what if we were to just start targeting other snowboarders, enthusiasts who love snowmobiling and snowboarding and skiing and traveling the world and experiencing the fun, right, the excitement, the adrenaline rush of being out in the snow and not having to worry about having a job. Well, guess what? There's a lot of us out there, right? There's a ton of us out there that share that passion and would probably just jump at the chance to learn how they can go out and pursue their passion without having to be tied down to a job, right? To be able to earn enough income where they can have a...
You know what, Pierre? I've actually closed sales on the slope.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, where are you right now? Oh, I'm up in the canyons. I'm just about to catch this chairlift up to the next big run. But, yeah, I got a minute to take your call. What's up? Oh, you're in your cubicle? Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's absolutely it. And they're sitting there wondering, well, what's going on? Well, how can I do that? How can I be, at the canyons, right? I'm jonesing. I need to be out there, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
good stuff. Good stuff. Same with golf and other things too.
Well, see, and I know we're almost out of time, but this is really important. I'm going to challenge everybody listening right now to put pen to paper and start thinking about who your ideal customer is. Describe that person down to the T. Make it one person. Who is it? What's their gender? How old are they? What's all the demographics? Where do they live? What do they do for a living? Right? Do they have a long commute or a short commute? What do they really like? What are they passionate about? What are they looking for? What do they really want? Maybe they want to change their current situation. Right? And the more you dial that in, and everything that you do focuses around that one fictitious person, well, guess what? You're not talking to one person. Your message will resonate with thousands and thousands of people, and you don't need very many customers. You really don't. And that's what's so beautiful about everything that we've got in place here. It's just amazing, isn't it, John? And we've got, and 2017, I don't know about you, but this is going to be a seven-figure year for a lot of us that have embraced this and are working hard towards, climbing that mountain and achieving the apex. So any other thoughts, John, that you'd care to throw in here revolving around that, identifying that customer avatar?
No. I think we should open it up and see if we can open it up. Again, I apologize for the tech issues tonight. I think part of it may have been my internet connection since I'm traveling right now. But the thing is, Pierre, we're also going to be approaching this topic again, or a variation of this topic later this week. So put on your calendar, everybody. Wednesday night on the Rise, we're going to be having a discussion similar to this topic. Obviously not the same exact thing, but this is like the theme of this week, and it came up twice. All right, Pierre, when I asked you if you would come and participate on this call, you would introduce this topic, and I said, oh, that's going to be perfect, because I know what's going to be happening on Wednesday night. So I won't say any more about it, but everybody be sure to tune in Wednesday to the On the Rise, and we're going to be seeing some of this actually on the computer screen. So yeah, let me see if I can get these lines open here, and we can have a little bit of Q&A. And if it doesn't work, I apologize in advance. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on a second. Sounds to me like the Q&A session has started. So what that means is that if you raise your hand by pressing *6, you will be able to come on out and be live on the air with me and Pierre. Hey, that rhymes. Live on the air with me and Pierre.
There you go.
Yeah, good stuff. So, yeah, again, *6 is the command to unmute your line, and you'll be able to come on out here. And I am on a mobile browser right now, so I'm not seeing anybody in the queue, and that could be because no one has raised their hand. Or, I do see someone here. Hold on just a moment. Here we go. So we're going to go to Edward is first. Okay. So, oops. Yep, yeah, there we go. Edward, you're live on the air.
Thank you, guys. I created my first video about my story, and it's going to be my first video on my YouTube channel. What would you recommend the theme to be, so I could aim for the top, in other words?
Nothing like a warm introduction, right? Just a nice, warm introduction that's open, that really just talks about who you are and, what you're about, and make it very relatable. And make sure that, it's just, this is so interesting, right, with social media and things like video and stuff. Think of it as being a big mixer, right, or out on the town, right, a social nightclub, if you will, right? How would you approach things, right? You'd want to be very welcoming, right, and be friendly, and maybe you're going to, in your video, you can talk a little bit about yourself or your interests, right? Make it relatable, again, to whoever your target audience is. What do you think they'd be interested in hearing about?
Okay, thank you so much. That helps a lot.
You bet.
All right. Thank you, Edward. And it looks like we've got our next caller, which is Naveen. Naveen, you are live on the air. Okay,
Hey,
Naveen, you're
John.
live. Are you?
Hey,
Okay,
John.
there you
Yes,
are.
I'm sorry. I'm having a poor connection quality this morning. Hey, Pierre. That was a great conversation. Guys, I've just gone solo with my ads, my first ads on social media.
Nice.
Um, uh, when I say social media, I mean LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. I've created a FB business page. My question is pretty much similar to what we had Edward asking. And in addition to that, who is my target audience and how do I find out who requires what? I know some people who are looking out for a change. I know some people who will make that effort to, who will follow their passion, as you say.
Brilliant.
But how exactly do I reach out to them? I know I'm targeting right now people either, say, single moms or stay-at-home moms, uh, uh, or I'm targeting people who are actually frustrated from their jobs and looking for a change. But is that all? What do I need to focus on exactly to get the ball rolling here? Thanks.
Well, that's really what we're talking about, isn't it? It's who is it that you really want to attract? You know, you're saying that you know people that are interested in making a change, a career change. Well, what career are they in now? The more specific you can be in who it is that you really want to attract into your business, the better. And you've got a great opportunity. You've got control here of who specifically you want to attract. Are they engineers? Are they software developers? Are they mechanics? Are these individuals, people that love to travel? Are they simply, maybe they're interested in network marketing? And this is another topic, very, very interesting, and I suspect that a lot of this is going to come up on the Rise call on Wednesday. But when you really dive into not only who the customer avatar is, but it's like a temperature gauge, right? If you've got people that would never be interested in something like this, right? Even though you've got you can help them solve their problem, why not approach people that might already have a tendency to want to be interested with this, right? People that maybe are open to business opportunities and home-based businesses, or interested in the internet, right, and technology. Wouldn't that make more sense, right? Probably more apt to want to click on an ad to learn more about having a digital business in the digital age. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? And so it's up to you to really identify who you want that person to be, and create content that's going to pique their interest.
Thanks for that, Pierre. And what should, following from that, what should the keywords be in my trying to reach out? So the questions that I put through, does the content of the question actually decide who my target audience is? Because when I post an ad, it's just generally.
No, vice versa.
Okay.
It's the other way around.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So you put yourself in the shoes of your target audience and your customer. What are they interested in? What are they looking for? Those are the keywords that you're going to want to use. That comes after identifying your target audience.
Right.
Yeah, it all begins with that. When I finally learned that, boy, certainly made things a lot easier, because everything I did from that point forward was geared specifically towards that customer avatar.
Right.
Good question, though.
Okay, thank you for that.
Good advice. Thank you, Naveen. Well done. And we're going to go to our next call. It looks like we've got, don't know their name, 254 area code. You are live on the air. Who's this?
I am Bernice Fisher from Tempe, Texas.
Welcome.
Yes, my question is, do I go on and have a full page with just my advertising on it, or do I just go on Facebook and, I did go on Facebook and sign up. But I wanted to know, do I have a separate page with just my advertising on it?
I'm not sure I understand
Pierre?
the question.
Yeah, I don't think I got it either, but I'm thinking that the question is, should I have multiple Facebook pages, one for my brand and one for my personal life? I'd say yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You can have an unlimited number of Facebook pages, and why not segregate the the purposes of those pages? So does that answer your question? Seems like we lost our caller. Okay, sounds like they had a bad connection. I hope that answered your question, though. And we do have one more person in the queue. And again, this is a caller from 228. So I don't know your name, but you are live on the air. Who's this?
Thank you. This is Ronnie. I'm calling from Florida. And I just want to thank you guys. Hi. That was a really nice and interesting conversation. I haven't started promoting my business yet because I'm educating myself first. I just want to know more before going out there. But just based on the conversation tonight, I've been making some notes, and now I know the way to target my audience. I work hospitality industry for 22 years, so I know the things that people that work, I've been working 12, 14 hours a day. We work where people are having fun, like holidays, weekends, that you cannot have those days off because you're working. So now just by listening to you, I've been writing notes, and I know how to target my audience. So I just want to thank you for that.
Perfect. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, and I hope a lot of people were taking notes because once the ideas and the juices get flowing, and you start thinking about this, who you want to attract. People in the hospitality industry. I mean, think of how many thousands and tens of thousands of people that are in the hospitality industry that would love to have some way to travel, right? They got into the hospitality industry maybe because they like to travel, and they love to be able to stay at nice resorts. But they feel they can't now because they're stuck at a job. What a great opportunity to start talking about travel and breaking free from that grind. Isn't that amazing?
Right.
What a great way to attract that audience. And it's helping those individuals, talking to them specifically. And the more specific you can be, think about how many people would be interested when they feel like you're really talking to them personally. The conversions go through the roof, guys. It's amazing when you apply this principle, this strategy.
Good stuff. Great question, Ronnie. Thank you for asking it. And Pierre, we do have one more person who entered the queue. Would you like to take one more?
Sure. Let's do one more.
Let's do that. Okay. So we do have somebody in Toronto. Don't know your name.
Yeah.
Who's live on the air with us?
Yeah, this is Faisal. How you doing, John and Pierre?
Hello.
Hello, Pierre. By the way, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is great. I would say it is, golden nuggets on a black diamond. It doesn't get better than this. Thank you very much. Just wanted to give that shout out. And you guys are doing amazing work. Thank you.
Oh, you bet. Well, thanks for the kind words. Love Toronto, by the way. One of my favorite cities.
Thank you. I did hear, Pierre, I did hear you saying the the white and red jersey, and I was cringing a little bit because I do wear the white and blue.
You got the blue with the maple leaf?
You got it right.
Yeah.
All right, Pierre, thank you very much. I just don't want to take too much time from you, but thank you. You guys are doing great work. Thank you.
Well, you bet. Did you have a question at all for us?
No, I just wanted to give this shout out. No, I don't have any specific question. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll take all the love we can get. We
Amen to that.
give us the love, damn it. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's always nice to get some acknowledgement, huh, Pierre? So that look, you just got paid. Yeah, that's part of your pay right there. Well done.
Why we
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
It really is a joy too when you get to work with and meet people at live events, and they like the light in their eyes when the light bulb comes on and they get it, and they're starting to see results, and the excitement. It's so rewarding, isn't it, John? I love it.
It is. It's good stuff. Well, you know what? I want to thank you as well. So here's my acknowledgement to you. Oh, let me send this back into lecture mode. Okay. So yeah, Pierre Beaudoin, everyone. Here he is, and give him some love in the chat roll. Also, feel free to jump on our Facebook groups and let everybody know how much you enjoyed the Black Diamond call tonight, despite our rough beginnings there, you know, with the tech problems. But it seems like everything's working just fine now. Incidentally, Pierre, I'm having an easier time running this from my iPhone than I expected. So, yeah, you know what? Guess what? Tomorrow, we're going to get together on the wake-up call with our friend Tatiana Moshenkov. And she's always got something great to share. And then, of course, Pierre, you'll be back here with us on Wednesday, the day after that, where you'll get to do a little bit in the morning to get everybody's day going. Thanks for all you do, my friend, and thank you for being somebody I can call on and say, hey, would you bring some of your experience and wisdom to the community at large? Because, you know, this is something that, you know, you're just volunteering your time here, man. So I honor that. Thank you.
Anytime. My pleasure. Thanks for thinking of me and inviting me to be on and to share with the community. It's always an honor and a privilege. So as I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody and meeting you all in Maui in just a few short weeks, God, that's going to be so much fun. Can't wait.
It is. Yeah, especially for our people up north and who are tiring of the snow. You know, Maui has no snow.
Isn't it nice to be able to blast up to the snow, to be in the tropics if we want, and
yeah,
you know, it's no longer the grind to make a buck. So much fun, so liberating.
That's it. Good reason to become successful and good reason to participate fully in your digital altitude business. So thanks again, Pierre. Everybody, will see you back here tomorrow morning, and make it an absolutely great day because you totally deserve it. We'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Aloha.